a lot of different people play Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's probably this stigma, I think, that has existed in the past that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for, pasty skinny nerds, right? Just something like that. Like it's for losers, you should have grown up, you shouldn't have been playing this, like why are you playing this at this age? But that doesn't seem to be true. I think anybody who goes to locals, anybody who goes to events can definitely tell that, there's a nice, diversity of people, ages, races, everything like that. So
gender.
First of all,
Gender. What is gender?
Don't assume gender.
Where do you guys think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stigma comes from? And do you think it's still something that exists, or is that kind of an antiquated thing?
I do think it still exists. Nerd culture as a thing is more out there prevalently, so I think it's better accepted. Like, I don't know how it was for you two youngins, but I said them two youngins. I think we're all those two.
Yeah.
What you mean? We're the same age.
Yeah, I tell you right.
We are
What's up, baby?
We're the same.
Keep going, Larry. Shut
Like,
up.
for example, like when you went to high school, you couldn't say I like anime.
Right.
You was gonna get, but now it's like, oh, now everybody likes
Me
anime
too.
for some reason.
Well,
Like where we all in high school, but
When I was drawing figures on the back of my notebook during class.
yes, ninja running.
My middle school had an anime club. So I'll put that out there.
So,
Pretty sure you
And
guys
also-
are popular kids.
It's like
I was also in the band.
I guess it's more widely accepted now that I guess people can like different things.
Yeah, I know my arguments are always controversial anytime I say something.
I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh's ever really been this like pasty nerd.
I don't think a lot of people really, like a lot of main people know what Yu-Gi-Oh is. Cause I went to my job and she asked, she was like, where'd you go last weekend? Why'd you go to Atlanta? I was like, you gonna laugh at me? I was like, I went to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. She's like, what is that? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Just let it go.
It's gonna take me all day sitting here to explain to you what Yu-Gi-Oh is.
That stigma actually belongs to Magic the Gathering. It was the card game that more people knew about.
So it just kind of got rolled over as all card game.
They say all card game players are like that which is crazy to me because Yu-Gi-Oh's been the most diverse game I've ever seen.
Yes, I mean, I was one of them. Really? Yeah, get out. Fair enough.
I can see what you mean, though. I mean, I do feel like there is kind of that stigma of like, big sweaty nerd like who plays card games. Not saying it's true, but I mean, I feel like that is something that people, do.
That's
think.
clearly not us. Like, there are some people who fit the archetype.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of Yu-Gi-Oh players, they create their own.
I'm pretty cool. I don't care what anybody says. So.
What about you, Trell? I mean, where do you think that stigma comes from?
Can I take my shirt off for this video?
You can take
What
your
in
shirt
the
off.
Oh, yeah, the shirt's off. All right, so here we go. First things first.
Roll up those sleeves.
Got to roll up the sleeves. First things first. Yu-Gi-Oh! To everyone that we know of, Yu-Gi-Oh! Started off as a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about cartoon, the first thing you think about is kids.
Excuse me, not cartoon, it's an anime.
We're talking America.
You're part of the problem.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
We all are aware that it's an anime, but to those who are not aware what anime is, even to this day, there are people who don't know what anime is. All right, I'll be right on that. So when you think of Yu-Gi-Oh, you think of it as a cartoon. When you think of cartoon, you think kids. So now you got a kids cartoon that now has a card game, and you got grown people playing it. That's where negative stigma comes from. There, because in America,
right,
Yu-Gi-Oh is put off as a children's game, as a children's cartoon and a children's
12
game.
and up.
Yeah.
So, like I say, 12 and up. Now, granted, we are part of the and up part, but 12 is where it starts.
Seriously,
so it's for children.
I think it's 6.
We doubled it.
Yeah, it's
I
like
think
6 or 8 or
it's
something like that. Yeah, so even lower than that. But that's what I'm saying is that so here in America, it was presented to us. It was presented to us and understood by us as a people as a children's thing, and so that's where the stigma comes in. Oh my God, it's a children's game. You gotta play this children's game because I've gotten it a lot. Now, granted, we all know, especially like over in Japan and stuff. Every age plays it, and nobody gets looked down on, for it because it's a bigger thing there, whatever. Also, with that being said, we talk about how in high school it wasn't cool to play Yu-Gi-Oh because I played Yu-Gi-Oh in high school, and it was not cool.
During lunchtime,
during lunch, during my music appreciation class, all that. Like, my thing was I wasn't ashamed of it, but that doesn't mean that I got any less flack for it. You see what I'm saying? But another thing that also made it seem cooler now with the whole everybody's a nerd thing and nerd culture is great. Girls started getting more into it. So now, if a girl likes it, it's okay for a guy to like it. I'm pretty sure we weren't the only people in high school that liked Dragon Ball Z. We were just the nerds.
The only ones talking about it.
Yeah, we were just the only ones talking about it, and we probably we did more mannerisms about it in public. I'm pretty sure. Exactly. You know, but if you see a cool guy do it, oh, it's a funny thing to do. But now, also nowadays, I can't think of many girls that don't know what some kind of anime is. So now it's okay for guys, even the cool guys, to like it as well. And with Yu-Gi-Oh being the same thing, there's a lot of girls that play Yu-Gi-Oh. Not as a large, not a huge audience as we would like. Let's be honest. But at the same time, there's enough to where it's noticeable. There's enough to where we're like, oh my gosh, she plays whatever. It's obviously not that bad of a thing.
Right. I mean, it's no doubt Yu-Gi-Oh is uncool. But
Time out.
It is
Yu-Gi-Oh is cool. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
I do Yu-Gi-Oh and I play sports.
But I mean, we all play sports.
I am a grown man with a career.
That is not. Hobby. That doesn't make Yu-Gi-Oh
We're
cool.
not bankrupt, homeless, hoodlums.
That doesn't have anything to do with Yu-Gi-Oh being cool or not.
Yes,
it doesn't.
I got a 401k.
It's
and
completely. It's separate. It's okay. It's okay for the game to be not be considered.
I got
nipple
nipple piercings.
You can be cool and play Yu-Gi-Oh. It doesn't take away from that. It's separate.
Yu-Gi-Oh is still cool.
It is.
To you, yes, it is.
Why you play it?
You gonna die?
What? I enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh. Do I think it's the coolest thing I could be doing? No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is an interesting.
What's the coolest thing you could be doing?
Well, that's actually an interesting thing, though.
I can't say that on camera.
Fair enough.
So, an interesting thing that's related to that then is the types of people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that, you're saying like, oh, I'm a grown man. I have a career. I play this game. Maybe somebody wouldn't expect to hear that or to see that necessarily. But when I go to these events, I do see a very wide variety of people who play this game. It's not, pasty white kids. It's not a bunch of skinny nerds. I mean, I've met athletes. I've met people who've been, in the army. People who are bodybuilders. I've met
people with families.
People with families, stoners, everything. I've met,
They're there.
And so, it's what do you guys think makes Yu-Gi-Oh so attractive to people of different, all these different backgrounds? Clearly there's got to be something. Is it just that you're playing with your friends and so that's all there is to it?
That's probably the first thing. Well, I won't say nostalgia. I never watched it.
I mean, nostalgia for some people for sure, right?
Nostalgia, that's a good reason. I think playing with your friends is probably the main thing because that's how I got into the game to begin with. I never was one for the show anyway, but playing with my friends is the thing. And some people like to compete, but I mean they can't play basketball. I mean they're not. They just there's certain things that Yu-Gi-Oh gives you that point to where you can compete and not give too much of your life to it. I mean some people do, but you know what I mean.
Wallet.
I mean there's that too. I mean, but like you said, we have careers like this, so we can mitigate that. But you're not an NFL star, you're not an NBA star, but you can play Yu-Gi-Oh. You can enjoy it. The art's pretty cool. There's different aspects to the game that make you want to be a part of it. And I mean, I feel like to anybody, nerd or otherwise, I feel like that's something that would bring people to the game in general.
Mm-hmm. For me, Yu-Gi-Oh is just addictive. I don't know about being cool or anything.
Cocaine is
Yu-Gi-Oh, I can't stop playing. I've tried stopping. But everywhere I go, I see someone flip a card, I'm going to go find my deck. I'm going to start playing again. Yeah. I can't stop.
I think he has a problem.
He has a problem. This is your intervention video. You didn't know it. Have a seat.
But I feel like a lot of people have the same feeling that Yu-Gi-Oh is addictive.
Funny story. I was tempted. We were in Mexico.
Oh, no.
I was in Mexico for my honeymoon, and and we were going down the escalator, and I looked on my side, and these boys were playing Pokemon. And I was like, ooh. And I was like, wait, no.
On my honeymoon.
I'm on my honeymoon. And my cards are in a whole nother country.
Let me not walk over there.
Let me go to this gift shop.
Right. Come on, sweetie. This is what I told you we're going to be doing. This being with you.
Because they was going to get it.
They was going to get that work.
Chico's was going to get it.
Oh, God.
Well, they was going to tell your ass. They going to kill you.
They probably was.
They going to beat you.
They probably was.
They going to kill you out there. 8-year-old boy. Play Phoenix.
No, but that reminds me. Shout out to the young homies we met at the YCS.
Yes.
Don't change.
Yeah, we met some really great. Everybody we met was pretty good. I mean,
the young dragon duelists.
Now here's
here's
a topic that gets maybe a little bit darker.
Big
we'll say.
Draco.
Okay, so the idea is there are adults who play this game. There are adults who play the game, and there are kids who play the game, and kind of people of all ages. when you do introduce kids to the picture, you get some parts that maybe you don't like. You know, there's a lot more theft from older players. You know, there's a lot more scamming and like ripping kids off. You know, kid doesn't know the price of his Phantasme and somebody trades him a common Blue Eyes for it. And you can say whatever you want, that's wrong. That you shouldn't do that. It doesn't matter, the kid didn't know the price. Scamming happens. And kids get, exposed to a lot of like maybe bad adulty humor that gets thrown around at card shops. Smoking and stuff, right? Like I have seen card shops where lots of smoking outside, sometimes cigarettes, sometimes other things. And kids are walking in and out of the door. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and I've seen parents who want to leave card shops because they come inside and they see like, you hear
people
some
in here and
raunchy
they were like,
stuff.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go wait in the car.
Can we speak to that a bit? Was there? What do you guys think about that?
That is a lot.
It's hard because the shop is a lot of people's sanctuary.
Yeah,
like I remember,
safe haven.
You know what I mean? Like I remember I was dating this one girl or whatever, and like our rule pretty much was like she could come to the shop, but she couldn't linger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like because it was my spot. Like if I went to the gym, she couldn't come to the gym with me because that was our time apart. That was my safe place. So when you come to the shop, you don't really want many rules outside of the shop rules themselves.
Right.
So, and everybody who knows me personally knows that I curse a lot. But, don't judge me. But typically, like, especially when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm like the ambassador for it mostly around here. So, like, my thing is, like, when younger people are in the shop, I keep my curses to a minimum, and I try to make sure no one else is, like, loud and, derogatory, anything like that, because they're kids.
Obnoxious.
And there too, and also, of course, we know anything about scamming, we take care of that as well. But, like, it's a time and a place. Now, granted, it's a safe haven, so we don't want to be constricted by extra rules that we didn't have before. Because on a typical day, when it's just adults, we pretty much just let things fly.
Mm-hmm.
You can curse all day or whatever. And granted, there's a time and a place when kids are present, when we have older people present. Respect your elders, those type of things. We try to be more mindful of that. But nobody wants to go to a safe haven and feel like they have extra rules because then they feel like there's no point to really be there.
Like it's really tough because this is supposed to be a kid's card game, and if this game is going to,
is it a kid's card game?
Well, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's the premise.
It's supposed to be a children's card game
in America.
And if this game is going to stick around for more than 10 years or 10 more years, there needs to be kids that play.
It has to be for kids, because they're the ones that bring the next generation.
And I don't think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, they don't keep that in mind when dealing with children. They see them as nuisances, or they just push them off to the side, or they try and scam them, not realizing that
Scamming's
kid,
the worst.
that is the future of this game.
I will say that years ago, the game was much more kid friendly. You know what I mean? Because I remember that back in the day, like I used to teach kids how to play and things like that. Whereas now the game's gotten I won't say complicated, but it's gotten really more in depth. And then there's other negative factors to add to it that have made it really hard for little kids to actually get into it and be as excited about it. That's kind of how Pokemon wins all the time, because Pokemon is catering to the kids like it's their stepchildren. So
They go hard.
Like they let you know, hey, you're a little kid, we want you in the game, here you go. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, we have Dragon Duels, but other than Dragon Duels, there's really not much that's rare. When you go to your locals, it's all just one bunch. You know what I mean? Like there's no specific, hey, this is the kids' corner. This is where you guys play. It's pretty much, hey, everybody just mingle together. And if you're an 8-year-old kid and this person's cursing a lot, you just got to deal with it because you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh. So
I can only imagine what would happen if I was 6 again. But in 2019, and my mom tried to take me to a shop, and like 3 dudes vaping out front, she would turn around.
Yeah,
I would not be allowed in. I would never play Yu-Gi-Oh.
You get out the car.
Larry, what about you? What do you think about that? I mean, is that just something that's just how the cookie crumbles? Got to be that way, or should people exercise more?
They should, but let's be honest, they're not.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean,
you think there's no hope?
I don't say there's no hope. I mean, you can curb it a little bit, but even that only goes so much. I mean,
it would
for example. I mean, they're grown. I mean, grown people gonna do grown people things.
It would help if Konami did something to kind of section the game off more. We have Dragon Duels, so they can have their own tournaments. But if they had their own form of locals, I remember when Toys R Us and
those were good days. I like those.
They would do their own. They would have their meetups every week.
Little Duels legal things, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great. Yeah.
What if they would do that again? Toys R Us is gone now, but if there was some place where just kids could go and play, maybe 1 or 2 adults to make sure things go smoothly, but it's just kids. It'll be a safe place where they can learn to play the game, have fun, like we did.
Right.
Because like when we all learned to play, there weren't that many predatory adults. There was always a few, but nowadays the majority of the game's adults.
Yeah.
That's true, especially yeah. That's true.
It would be nice if there was a safe place for kids.
So I guess concluding point here then. Would you guys say that Yu-Gi-Oh is a game for everyone, or
Yeah,
I still say yes to that.
it is. Anybody can play it.
is there like a cutoff age where you should stop, or is it just do you?
Stop when you stop having fun.
Stop when you run out of money, or you stop having fun. One or two.
Run out of money.
Yu-Gi-Oh makes it the first one happens first.
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh should be the last thing on your mind.
Remember, this is your intervention video, Alec.
Look, man, I stopped buying cards. I'm good now.
Run out of money.
I'm good now.
You've been twitching since you've been over there just fainting since. Like, Zach, look at it. He can't stop twitching.